How's it going, everyone? We're going to take a look at another S.H.Figuarts of Spider-Man, and this one also from Spider-Man No Way Home, but in the black and gold suit. So to start off with, I got this one, or bought this one from CD Japan for about 6,500 yen, which is basically the retail price. That does not include shipping. With shipping, it's around over 7,000 yen. That equates to about $65-70 US dollars, roughly. So not exactly cheap, and definitely more expensive than a Spider-Man integrated suit version. Now, with this particular version, straight away we can see the gloves aren't 100% screen accurate. I think everyone that's probably looked at this figure is going to comment on that. Now, I wouldn't necessarily blame Bandai for this. Bandai are only going to be able to deliver based on the work and reference material that they've been provided by Disney. So if Disney are only going to give them concept art of this version of the figure or this look, that's what Bandai is going to produce, right? Maybe they'll reproduce or do a 2.0 version of this down the road in the future. Who knows? But I'm not too bothered by it. I still quite like the way it looks so far in the box anyway. But I know other people that want to have, for sure, 100% or like 95% screen accuracy. They're probably going to be a bit disappointed by that. But you can see the packaging here. The nice window display box gives you a look at the figure. So if you want to keep it sealed, you can do that. You do also get a Peter Parker head sculpt here with this particular version of the figure, plus a red neck joint, red neck for the integrated suit. So if you recall, when you bought the integrated suit, or if you didn't buy the integrated suit, for that one you didn't get the Peter Parker head sculpt. The way to get it is through this figure. I don't necessarily like this tactic necessarily. Like, they do it a lot, Bandai. They've done this a few times in the past. I remember Star Wars, they did it. I don't like it, but it is what it is. It's business, right? But packaging wise, the rest is pretty nice. Nice black and gold colorway, grayish colorway, you might say. And then in and around, you can just kind of see pictures of the figure in different poses, which is pretty good and pretty standard of S.H.Figuarts stuff. So you should pretty much know what to expect when it comes to S.H.Figuarts packaging. But, you know, for those that aren't new to this or are new to this, this is what it looks like. But let's have a look at the actual figure out of the box. So this is the black and gold suit out of the box plus the option parts. And then we've got the integrated suit figure in the back there, which we'll refer to a bit later on in the video. Starting with the hands. So, of course, this figure does come with the web shooter hands, and they are going to be the black and red colorway, not the black and gold one, sadly. And you can see that looks pretty good there. Just to give you a close-up as well on the pattern work here, because I don't have the Far From Home suit or the black and red suit that they released to tie in with No Way Home. This pattern work, you see the cone shape at the index finger, it spreads as a cone, and then the rest of it, there we go, the rest is just kind of horizontal. I quite like that. I never noticed that before. I haven't actually opened the original black and red suit from Far From Home, but maybe that was the case, or maybe that's new here. It's pretty cool. That effect is on all the hands, that pattern work. Next hand is going to be wall crawling hands, like so here. Now I've got a little bit of paint bleed on the knuckle here, which kind of looks like, well, he's punched someone in the face and that's their blood, so I'll just take it as that. But it looks pretty good. You can see the web shooter or web triggers on the palm on these hands much more clearly than the others. And then final additional hands are going to be to hold onto a web line, which is included in this particular item. So you can see the extended thumb there. And then there's a little kind of crevice hole, let's call it that, with the fingers curved or curled up. And then you can slip the web line in there. The integrated suit version in the back did also come with that particular pair of hands, but no web line. So I guess you're going to have to use this web line for that, or use something else that you make yourself. This one also comes with a spare left arm with a magic gauntlet on there, so you can see this is nicely painted. It's nicely sculpted too. It's pretty plain, but it's nice. I quite like it. There's a little kind of peg hole here to use the magic wispy effect, which is not that great to be honest, but I will show you that later on once we come to swapping option parts. And then the underside of here is actually just going to be the same that's already on the equipped on the figure itself. This does move. You can see if you swivel here, I'm holding the arm. You can see that. So you can probably just remove this. Like, let's say you damage that arm by accident and this kind of acts as a spare, just remove this. I didn't do that because I didn't want to damage these kind of straps, let's call them that. So you just need to pull out that arm and then swap this one in, which I will show you on this video as well. And one of the main exclusives for this figure was going to be the Peter Parker head sculpt based on Tom Holland. So this is that head sculpt here. In person, it looks better than what it's probably going to look like on the video because of the harsh lighting that's shining on his face, but that doesn't mean this is a very spectacular figure. It's nothing special, it's not amazing by any means, and I think this is the first time that we've had Tom Holland appear in the S.H.Figuarts stuff, right? Because they've tried to do Black Widow, Thor, and Captain America, and a couple of others, right? And there was kind of, I would say, mixed kind of success there, and I wouldn't even call any of them really successful. I think S.H.Figuarts, they're not very good at face scanning, in my opinion, and face sculpting. There's just something a little bit, I don't know, they're lacking in that regard. So for me personally, I'm not hugely into collecting figures that have accurate 100%, or if you can get 100% likeness of the actors. I just don't really care for real actors in my collection. I like the comic stuff mostly. So I'm happy to just have, just a masked face, right? But I know some people are definitely going to want to have a better likeness. So this, I'll let you make up your own opinion on it. In my opinion, if you can get a cheap third-party one that still looks better than this by, say, for example, Not a Studio, they make some really good stuff, though they're not cheap, then opt for that. But otherwise, you do get this in the box, so that's cool, I guess. But the not so cool thing is as I mentioned, this is exclusive to this figure. You have to buy this figure to get this head. It doesn't come with the integrated suit at the back, which I don't like. I think it's a bit scummy when they do that, as in not just Bandai here. I think other businesses, when they do that, is kind of scummy. The Build-A-Figure of Marvel Legends is a bit different. This is an actual useful piece. I don't know. I just don't like the way they do it, because it just kind of forces people that, I might have just only wanted integrated suit, but I also want the Tom Holland head, so I'm forced to buy this, which it costs more money. That was a 3,000 yen figure. This one is a 6,000 yen. So I don't really like that, if I'm honest. So I'll keep that short. I don't like the fact that they do that. But this is exclusive to this particular black and gold figure set. So this head sculpt already comes with the neck attached, pre-attached with the black and gold suit of the neck. But you do get the red suit version as well, the red neck, let's call it that there. And you can kind of see the joint, which is, interesting to see. So this one is going to be for that, which I'll show you towards the option part section of this video. It's pretty simple to do, just swapping the necks over. So again, you have to buy this figure to get this neck piece, plus the Tom Holland head to then use it on the integrated suit. And kind of similar to that Tom Holland head sculpt being exclusive here are the additional eyes, which don't come with the integrated suit, though he can use these eyes if you want to. We'll show you that later in the video too. So if you recall, a lot of the other or previous S.H.Figuarts, maybe Homecoming Spider-Man figures, they came with these eyes, pretty much the same sort of eyes. You can see the lenses there. And the top ones are kind of wide-ish, I would say, maybe slightly wider than the default ones. And then you got a narrow pair down here as well, so you can swap those out. It can be a little bit frustrating because they are tiny, so try not to lose those. I will show you how to swap those. And to swap those though, you will need to use this little kind of peg piece here. This also came with this, but only used for the back peg piece, so it's a bit weird. That was a pretty basic figure, to be honest. You also get this little peg piece here to slot into the back of the figure if you want to use a Tamashi kind of base stand. That's there too, which also the integrated suit came with. And then we come to the web kind of apart. So if you've got other Spider-Man kind of S.H.Figuarts figures, you're probably familiar with these. So you've got short web shots on this little end piece here, which you need to sandwich between the hands. And well, I don't have to joint on it, but we'll show you that. And then you get a long version of this, which is like so. You get a pair of these, and that's probably the longest one there. And then you get a zip line. So this is not a web shot; it doesn't sandwich anywhere. So this is going to be the one that slips into this particular hand. So this is going to be for this figure, but you would just need to do this exact same thing for the integrated suit figure if you've got that. This is going to be familiar to anyone that's got previous S.H.Figuarts Spider-Man figures. And there you go, slip that in. Don't do 90-degree bends here because you will end up pretty much creasing it permanently here. We come then to the magic part. So this is the chest magic piece here. I think I got this the right way around. No, I don't. This is the right way around. Not that you might notice the difference, but you can see there's a little bit of spiderweb pattern going on there. Honestly, I don't really like this. I can make do without this. They've given it cool, okay, it kind of completes that kind of what's the word, magic infused look, I suppose. You got to swap the chest suit there, the actual spider suit that's there originally, with this little piece here, which we'll show you later on in the video, and then plug that in. Pretty simple to do. Then we come to this wispy piece. I'll be honest, I don't like this. It's not great. It's a bit sensitive as well, purely because it kind of thins out, you can see, and then to these disc bits, you might say, and then mine's already kind of like creasing here, so it's not great. This particular end piece will plug into the arm, so hopefully you can see this. So this bit here actually is not a round piece, it's actually flat edge, so this only fits in one way to this particular gauntlet here. So you can kind of see this too, is there's the flat edge on the leftmost side, so you just kind of got to make sure that you've got that lined up, and then hopefully it will kind of go in. But this is where it's a little bit tricky. So I've got big fingers, maybe if you've got a child to do it, probably be easier. You want to pinch it where my left index finger is, pinch it there. Don't do it up around this disc portion, because that's where you'll probably end up damaging it, which is why I think the crease happened. It's quite sensitive, I would say. There, it's kind of going in a little bit. Once it's semi in, you can just kind of angle it, I suppose. But then it comes out. I don't like this. It's probably the worst part of the figure, to be honest. It's okay. I mean, if you really want that look from the film, then sure, but I don't particularly care for it. Like, I didn't like it too much. The gauntlet is nice, but that is probably the worst bit. Unfortunately, that's the last of the accessories too. And then that brings us to the best bit of the actual package, which is going to be the figure. So I hope my lighting is okay on here. Sometimes it can be a little bit dark, so I'm going to straighten this guy up a bit. And so in terms of height, is the same as the integrated suit back there as well, so that's no different. But then it's the main suit that's going to be vastly different, right? So just take a look at this guy first. So from head to toe, he's got that whole inside out look. So this is supposed to be inside out underoos. I like to call it inside out underoos anyway. I don't know what the original concept was supposed to be. Maybe that's still true for the original concept. Definitely some of the detailing is simplified around his legs. But, you know, just take a look at his mask. I think that's really cool. I really like the pattern work and the texture of it. So it's all textured as well. Really, really nice. Really, really nice. It definitely feels very, very different in the hand compared to the integrated suit. Integrated suit is textured as well, but it has like fine grain texture. It's hard to explain it. This one definitely feels different, and it looks super good. It looks super, super good. The gold web details on this figure are just really nice. They don't pop too much. They're almost like a perfect level of the way they pop and reflect light. I really like it. Really, really good. And this kind of goes throughout the entire figure wherever there's gold supposed to be. So including the spider symbol on the back as well, and then the belt section. Really nice stuff. I particularly like it around the mask and then the main body section. The thicker gold lines, they're okay. They're not as good. The ones that are thin are definitely really, really cool. That whole textured work there, that kind of circuit board look, is going to be throughout pretty much most of the top half of the body and the top half of the arms. You can see there. Obviously, because these arms were using the red and black from the other suit, those don't have any of those sort of detailing. It pretty much does cut off at the elbows. So, you know, for those people looking for the 100% screen accurate, they're unfortunately not going to get that here. But anyone else who's maybe like me, a bit more relaxed about it, then this still looks pretty awesome. So you've got some of that circuit board detailing or texturing pattern work coming down here. This is where it simplifies a lot more. So it's kind of going a bit here at the hips, and then down here on the upper thigh towards the knee, and then it kind of stops, right? And then it continues again towards the boots and then the feet. But even on the boots and the feet, it's a lot more simpler than compared to up top, which pretty much has it everywhere on the main body, apart from, well, it kind of planes out a little bit there. But I like it. You know, it's just because it goes plain, it's not bad. It would have been different. Maybe it would have been too busy if you had all that pattern work throughout as well. But I really like what they've done so far and what they've achieved with this. It does look pretty cool, I have to say. I really like it. Personally, I really like it. The bottom of his shoes have the same pattern work as the integrated suit, but he doesn't have the kind of raised or etched. I'm not really sure how to describe it. He doesn't have this kind of weird outline. It's not weird. Let me just show you, explain it. There, it's slightly different. I hope that makes things a lot clearer. But it's not weird, but he doesn't have that on this one. But otherwise, the pattern is the same. But yeah, I really like the way this figure does look. Even with the red arms, honestly, I think it doesn't look too bad. Like, you get used to it, I think. It's one of those things you may just well need to get used to these red arms and make up a kind of story in your own mind of why it's like that. Of course, the thong bit is going to be the same as well as the integrated suit and other Spider-Man figures. Some people don't like them, but it does allow for pretty good, pretty amazing articulation for this figure. So in terms of looks, though, I do quite like it. Last thing, though, on the looks, the knee bend. That's the one thing I wanted to mention, actually. Because of all the busy work on the pattern, good busy work in my opinion, the knee does end up looking a little bit different. It's a slight different shade of black compared to the thigh, for example. You won't really notice it from a while back. You're probably not going to see that color difference, but it is a different kind of shade. But still, looks pretty good overall. And just to kind of mention, you can take this bit out to add in the magic front spider bit, and then for the back, there's a little hidden kind of bit here. That's where you would plug in the peg for the additional stand. You'll need to use that little arrow thing, plastic bit, to not take that out. It's going to be the same way that you did it for the integrated, but that's how you would take it out. So all in all, in terms of looks, I really do like what's going on here. So in terms of articulation, it's pretty much the same thing as the integrated suit. Amazing head articulation all around, really, really solid stuff. Same again with the arms. He's got the little butterflies there. It does stop a little bit, but it's still great. You can still cross his arms over, bring them forward, and then yeah, looks super, super good. I don't think there was really anything that needed to improve there. Actually, for mine, the joints sometimes do pop off a little bit. They are a little bit, I don't know, something about the working this articulation, this figure felt a little bit different than the integrated. It's the same articulation, it just felt a little bit different. I'm not sure if it's because these are black joints versus colored joints there, and then therefore the material texture is different once you're rotating it. I'm not 100% sure, but definitely a little bit different. He's got a bicep swivel there, and then the bend at the elbow, which is really well cool. And then for the torso bit, you can lean back, forward. Forward's going to give you that gap there, and you can lean, twist on the top, down there too. And then the legs are always going to be good. His legs can't pull down in this type of figure, but they can move up and then split like so. And then he's got the twist here, which cool. Does break the circuit board pattern a little bit. And then the knee, which is cool. Knee bend wise, it's good. It is good, but it's not really as good as the Muffex stuff. Those ones have awesome knee bend. I would like a little bit more when it comes to Spider-Man. I just kind of want him to squat properly on the ground. This one doesn't really allow for that. It's good still, but not as good as it could be. And then he comes with the ankle stuff as usual, and then ending with the toe. He doesn't have any kind of swivel at the calf, which is a bit of a shame, but that's kind of there at the top bit, as we mentioned. So yeah, just like the other Spider-Man figures, expect to get really, really amazing, deep, varied sort of poses out of this guy. He's really, really fun to pose around with. I really like it. I could play around with this guy, posing him all day. I think because of the sculpt itself, though, that's where some poses can look a bit weird. Maybe, depends on the angle. Kind of like how you have 90s Fat Spider-Man from the TV series, the cartoon, versus depending on the artist, they add a bit more of kind of a dynamic look to them, right? So it just depends sometimes. But still, fun figure. You can get him into some pretty good key poses. His head's falling off a little bit there. You can get him into some good key poses, just like the other figures. So no worries there. Time to swap some parts then. So we'll start with the head. You can actually take off the mask and then just use the integrated suit. And you know what? I'll just show you that. Well, why not? You can do that. They're on the same end piece. So there, you've got the integrated suit. And then similarly, you can actually do that. Swap them around. So it's an interesting look if you want to do it. Then we need to take off the neck here. Fortunately for me, taking off the neck wasn't an issue. It hasn't been an issue so far. For some figures, that can be a real pain and a frustration element just to get it done. But for this one, it's been pretty good. Then we put on the Tom Holland head, which already had the neck attached. And it looks good. It looks consistent thanks to that little neck piece that they've added. And again, if you like the figure of the Tom Holland face sculpt, then great. If you don't like it, then, go back to the mask head. That wasn't a mask, but go back to the mask head. So that's what it's going to look like with Tom Holland. Then we can take off the chest piece. Actually, the chest piece, this one, you can probably use your fingers here. I tend to use my fingers. Just tuck your nail underneath and then pull off the front chest piece there. That's off. And then we can just replace it with the magic effect part. This one is on a little peg on the back side. The pegs you got on the top here. And just plug that in. Very, very, very simple to do. And that's it. When you want to take it off, just pull at the disc. This is where I'm a bit concerned with. If you're pulling at the disc, maybe the disc comes off of the chest, maybe. But yeah, that's how you would just kind of take it off. I'm going to put the chest piece back on and make sure it's the right way around. And then we can swap the arm. Actually, before we do the arm, let me quickly show you a couple of other things. So to take off that back piece, so you need to get this little tool, and then you can see the flat bit here on the kind of wavy bit. That's the bit you need to kind of grab somewhere here. I forgot if it was which way around it was exactly, but that you would tuck into the yeah, there we go, that's flicked off. Just be careful, that's very, very, very small, so you don't want to lose it. By the way, if you hear screaming, those are foxes. Foxes make the weirdest shield screaming ever. Like, it's very scary. Then you need to plug in that little peg bit if you want to, and then you can use a Tamashi base stand if you've got that. Then also going back to the face, I want to show how to do the eyes, then I'll show you the arms. So this is going to apply to this integrated suit as well. If you've got the other S.H.Figuarts, then you know or should be familiar with this. So you need to use this tool again, and then you can probably make out little kind of pegs. Those are the eyes. Now it might be harder to notice those because this is the black mask and it blends in, so you can see the eye kind of coming out. Just take that off and then we'll replace it. Let's just replace it with the narrow eye. Whoa, let's do that one. There we go. Just grab that eye. Make sure it's the right one. Yeah. This is what it looks like, by the way, without the eye. This is actually pretty cool. Actually, that looks quite scary. So anyone who wants to customize this can probably make something pretty good out of it. Venom probably being the obvious kind of thing people might try to do with it. There we go. So you can kind of see this is the default one on his right eye, and then his left eye is going to be the narrow one. You would just need to do the exact same thing with this head sculpt to change the eyes here. Remember, the integrated suit does not come with additional eyes. You need to get this one or have it from a previous Spider-Man S.H.Figuarts. And don't lose the eyes because they are quite small. Now let's show you how to change the arm. You can just remove the hand first. Don't lose the hand because those are also small too. Now this bit, hopefully nothing breaks for you guys out there. This could potentially damage other people. I pinch it at the top bit of the elbow here, just above the actual funny bone, let's call it that. And then you just got to pull that out. Actually, that came out a lot easier than I thought. Then you just need to add in the magic gauntlet. Magic gauntlet. This one is where I also worry too. So you line it up the correct way, like so. Because this does swivel, I don't want to damage these straps. So I kind of just pitch in between, or just wherever feels comfortable, and then just slot that in. You kind of feel it go in, and that's it. And then we swap back the hand like so. And then there he's got a magic gauntlet on, which looks pretty good. I actually really like the magic gauntlet looks. Look, it looks pretty slick indeed. And as I mentioned, you can use the magic wispy effect again. I don't like it, so I'm just going to leave it like that. We can change then his hand. Let's give him a web shot because that's going to be pretty good. I'll give him the small one. Small one, just sandwich into the joint here. I tend to put it upside down first. Again, if you're familiar with the other S.H.Figuarts Spider-Man figures, then you will probably know how to do this. I don't really like the way S.H.Figuarts do the web shots like this way around. I don't like it for a few reasons. It can be a bit awkward to secure back in place, and then it just doesn't look as nice. So what I mean by that is you can see the web shot around his wrist. It just looks a bit weird. Like it looks better without it, but it still gives you what you need. I guess if you've got this kind of angle, then you don't really see it. If you've got it side on, and you can see what's going on. It's just weird. I don't really enjoy it that much. The way Revoltech did it is pretty good because they're on pegs and they go into the hands. That's a good way to do it, but I know not everyone likes it that way either. But yeah, I guess it just depends on your preference. This is not my preferred way to deal with web shots when it comes to Spider-Man. But that's how it looks with the short version. You can swap it for the same thing with the web one. I've showed you the web zip line, which looks like this. So just imagine he's holding on to that. You only get one of these, actually. Sometimes you get two, I believe. Maybe I'm misremembering. We only get one in the box. And that's really all it is to swapping stuff on this Peter Parker. It's pretty simple to do. Let me get out the integrated suit, straighten him up very quickly. So all we're going to do here is just swap out his neck. And then, yeah, so that was quite easy to do. What might happen is when you take off the head, this piece comes off, and then it becomes a problem trying to pull off the actual neck. Fortunately for me, I've not had that issue. Then all you got to do is grab the neck joint that came with the black and gold suit and then swap that in. The Adam's apple is kind of sculpted, so you can kind of see which way around it should be. So Adam's apple forward for anyone that doesn't know. And then we can swap Tom Holland onto that. So we can just pull off Tom Holland's head. Oh, the neck came with us. Let's pull it off there. But pull off Tom Holland's head off the other one. And then add that on. Sounds a bit weird saying pull off Tom Holland's head. I sound quite... well, evil. Like I should probably be arrested for saying such a thing. But yeah, then add on his head onto the integrated suit, and there we go. Completes the look. I think I'm not sure which one I prefer. Okay, he's headless, but I mean, let's try it this way. Tom Holland with black and gold suit or integrated suit. Black and gold or integrated. Huh. Right now, I think I'm leaning towards his head looks better. Like, proportion wise, he looks better with black and gold. Sorry, with integrated suit, his head doesn't look like a bobblehead, but with the black and gold one, it looked a little bit like a bobblehead maybe. But black is a slimming color. That might be why. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think. But there we go. That's the choices you've got. If you have both integrated and then the black and gold suit, you can mix and match to, you know, whatever situation that you want to make out on your display. So it's pretty good if you got both. If you don't have one or the other, then you're kind of, well, you're left with whatever one you got, right? So overall, that's pretty much how you change parts for this black and gold. I know he's headless. Oh gosh. But that's how you swap parts with the black and gold suit. It is pretty similar to the other S.H.Figuarts out there. So for those of you that do have S.H.Figuarts Spider-Man from before, this is going to be very familiar. For those of you new to it, just be careful not to lose some of the smaller parts out there. So to sum it up, this is a pretty good figure and I quite like it. I am familiar with Spider-Man S.H.Figuarts, so in terms of articulation, I knew what this was going to offer and that's fine. It's pretty good. It's pretty fun to play around with and pose. In terms of the way the figure looks, the black and gold is pretty good. I really like the gold web lines. Those really stand out. The pattern work is very good as well, that in certain light just looks even better and much more pronounced, and in some lights is much more muted, and that's a really cool effect for me personally. I enjoy that. In terms of the red gloves, I like that too, because now it actually differentiates it a lot more than the other products that are on the market from different manufacturers. So that kind of works for me personally. So overall, good looking figure. It is much more of a complete package thanks to the Tom Holland head sculpt, additional eyes and additional web parts, but it is more expensive in that regard as well. For you, pick which one you can afford and at the same time which one you prefer, plus which you can get a hold of. Me personally, I like the black and gold suit way more than the integrated suit. That's my choice anyway. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. In any case, thank you for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy.